So, I have a tour, which I know you should come to if you want to rock out. And I also have a single, I've got a music video, I've got some merch, and I have a Patreon too. And I have a Discord too if you want to make friends, because I know you have none.
Hello, underachievers. So, I'm just back from tour, which would probably explain my general disheveled look that I'm sporting today. We can call it indie sleaze if you'd like. I've been at home for about 2 days, which means that I've just been sleeping all day, eating all day, ignoring emails, ignoring messages, just having a general wonderful sleepy time. But I do, of course, have to say thank you to everybody that came out to one of the shows. This UK tour has probably been my favourite UK tour I've ever done. I got to play Electric Ballroom in London, which is a venue that I grew up going to and seeing shows at. Like, I saw Youngblood there when he was first starting out, and all my friends and family were there. I just had a great time, and obviously, like, shout out to Manchester specifically and London again for the insane pits, the big old fat pits. Thank you so much. You made the shows insane for me, and as well as the crazy pits and the amazing shows, I ended up meeting a lot of you guys, which was so fun. This entire tour, there was not one person that irritated me. Not one person got in my bad books. But the reality of the situation is that if you're meeting 1,000 people, there's gonna be one or two that maybe, you know, maybe irritate you, maybe overstep some boundaries, maybe are just real inappropriate and strange and creepy. And that is kind of what today's video is about. I'm gonna be talking about, you know, those times maybe a few fans overstepped those boundaries in ways that made me deeply uncomfortable. I love storytime videos. I love just yapping. Even though I've had so many amazing interactions with you guys, there have been some strange times. But before we get into these wonderful story times about these wonderful fans of mine, I would like to just give a big shout out to my biggest fan, me. That's right, my 2024 YouTube music recap is very interesting. And by interesting, I mean really embarrassing. In a positive way, because on this channel we are cringe and gay. We're not embarrassed at our own cringe, but at the same time, yeah, we are when I'm my most listened to artist on YouTube this year. Apparently, I've listened to so much of my own music this year, and by my own music, I mean watch my own music videos, that YouTube has exposed me for being somewhat narcissist. No. Obviously, I'm joking. Look, the point is, I get really into music videos. I found my favorite artists since I was a child on YouTube from watching music videos, and that means that I end up watching my own music videos a lot, and it's not just to be like, oh, look at that, isn't that really cool, look, it's me as a clock, look, it's me, there's a rat, I'm a mattress now, hey, let me see that clip of me eating my own brain one more time. The point is, before the music videos go live, there's a lot of work that goes into them, which means that I'm watching them over and over and over and over and over and again, just to make sure that there's no mistakes, and I thought this level of perfectionism would never come back to bite me, which is the least true thing I've ever said on this channel. My YouTube music recap also tells me that I really am top. I really am my most top artist. But 2, 3, 4, and 5, we have Billie Eilish at number 2, which no one is surprised by because we love Billie Eilish. Guest featuring Billie Eilish is my most top track. It's just so bright. Below Billie Eilish, we have Youngblood. And why is that, do you think? No, it's not because I played Bloodfest and it was like one of my favorite shows ever and like, please invite me back for the next year, Youngblood. It's because when Youngblood released When We Die, Can We Still Get High? I really got obsessed with it. Like, the visuals freaked me out a little bit, and I like being freaked out, so I just watched that over and over again. Below that, we have Dominic Fike, which may be a surprise, but it won't be a surprise to anybody that pays attention to the kind of music that I listen to. And then number 5, we have Brockhampton, which is just like every single year I go back and rewatch all the Brockhampton music videos because they're such a specific vibe, and I just love them. And then number 3, most top track is 3 Day Headache. That's my own song. You should listen to it. Below that, we got Mama's Boy, which is incredible, incredible song, incredible recording, incredible live moment. And then Perfume by The Dare, which, look, the Dare's album, it makes me want to move. It just makes me want to move, and I love it so much. So I spent 27 hours of my time on YouTube listening to music, watching music videos this year. If you spent any time over 10 hours doing the same, then you should check out your YouTube music recap to see if you are exposed like me, or if you're just nosy, if you just want to reminisce about the stuff that you've been listening to this year. I've put the link to it below so you can have a look at it, download it, and share it with whoever you feel like you need to share it with. Thank you, YouTube, for that, and now on to the story times that I don't know why I'm doing this video. Just want to start off by disclaiming to anybody that is mentioned in this video, look, people make mistakes. It's okay, I'm not gonna name you by name, that's fine, I would never do that. If for some reason you end up recognizing a story in this video, that could be for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, I might have told it during VIP, and by might, I definitely have. The second reason you'd be hearing this is because it involves you, again, look. I did not do the weird thing, is all I'm gonna say. I did not do the weird thing, you did the weird thing, and you maybe you should learn from it. Now, speaking of VIP, maybe we should just start with this story time, because this one is honestly the one that I tell every time. This is gonna be a mess. This is gonna be a mess. It's gonna be all over the place. But like, here's some context. Throwback to 2022. It's my first US tour. I have heat stroke. Everything's going wrong. It's not that nothing is going right for me. A lot of those shows sold out, which I'm very grateful for. I got to meet a load of people. When you have heat stroke, everything is horrible. And I had that for a month. And you know why that was? First US tour, it's really hot. It's the summer. In some places that we're touring, it's like 45 degrees Celsius, which is disgusting. If anything gets over 25 degrees Celsius, I cannot cope. I have too many sensory issues for that. We have a tour bus. The generator for the tour bus broke before we even got to the tour bus. The tour bus company's idea of fixing the tour bus generator was by buying a generator that was 3 times too small for the tour bus. This meant that nothing worked. Obviously, it meant that nothing worked. It's 3 times too small. It's a big old bus on wheels. How many buses are not on wheels? The point is, I had heat stroke because the generator wasn't working. We didn't have an ounce of air conditioning unless we were plugged in somewhere else. We couldn't be plugged into the generator. It wasn't good, is the point. Even just rehashing this, just reliving this is so truly much. I would wake up in the morning, throw up. I would get before VIP, I'd throw up. I'd be anxious because I'm like, oh god, I need to not come across like I have heat stroke. That would make me throw up because I was so nervous about it. And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. America, your food is not good. There was nothing that would settle my stomach. This story that I'm about to tell, this fan interaction, this was in St. Louis. However you pronounce it, St. Louis. I've not been back. We were playing this venue called the Duck Room, and you're thinking, oh, that's crazy. The duck room, that's so silly. Like ducks. Yes, like ducks. I had never seen so much duck memorabilia in my life. There was Donald Duck. There was Daffy Duck. There were pictures of ducks. There were statues of ducks. There were paintings of ducks. Carvings of ducks. Every duck-related piece of art that you could picture right now was in that room. Anyone that was with me in the duck room, shout out to you. I'm sure you will remember this story if you came to VIP. What we do is every single night on tour, we meet 50 people and they queue up outside the venue. They get let in. An hour early, they get merch, they get exclusive VIP merch, they get to meet me, they get to speak to me, they get to take pictures with me, they can ask me any question they want because there's a Q&A. I just walk in and Elliot, my tour manager, is like, alright Manchester, make some noise, boy! Sometimes, you know, different places have completely different vibes. For example, most places in America, you people are insane with all the love in the world, with all the love in the world. There is a level of crazy points that, like, I don't think the UK has quite reached yet, because all the stories that I'm going to tell you about today, they were in America, because of course they were. For whatever reason, the air in the duck room this day, there was something going on, because first hand up, okay, it's a guy, he's maybe like a few years younger than me. I say, hey, yeah, you. He says, I just wanted to say, I think you're really sexy. I don't think I've ever been called sexy, even by somebody that I'm into, and thought, oh, that feels good. I don't think that word applies to me. I don't think I possess that trait. I just don't like it. I don't like it. And especially not from a stranger in the least rude way possible. So, like, we don't know each other. I'm like, oh, thanks. Thank you for that. Do you have a question? He's like, no. He just wanted to tell me that he thought I was sexy. I just felt really uncomfortable because, like, not only was this, like, there were several people watching this interaction. Embarrassing even if it's just one-on-one for me. But there were also, like, children. There was probably, like, 13-year-olds in there. Peace and love to you in the dark room. That was a lot. So you think, okay, no, that's crazy. Ooh, crazy. Guy called you sexy. We get it. People find you attractive. Don't shut up about it. That's not the end of this interaction, because at the end of the show on this tour, Corey would go to the merch table. He would do this thing where he'd do a meet and greet at the end of the night, every show. This man who called me sexy, he goes up to Corey. He goes up to him and he essentially just threatens him. He looks him in the eye and says, hey, you look after him, okay? You don't hurt him. Just some stranger. Which, by the way, VIPs they can buy merch. Like, they have plenty of time. There's an hour before the show opens when other people come in. That's when a lot of VIPs, or like most of them, will get their merch. So they can get it early in case anything sells out. He waited until the end of the show to go out to my boyfriend. He intensely looks him in the eye and says, that guy that I just met, that I don't know, that I only know from the internet, you, boyfriend of, how many years was this? Boyfriend of 4 years. Watch out. I, of course, didn't see any of this. My role on tour is like, you know, I'm the artist. I hold the role of Mr. Knows the least of what's going on at all times, because I can only put up with so much. But at the end of the day, Corey was just like, yeah, so remember that guy in the VIP that called you sexy? He just threatened me. So if that's you, Mr. Duck Room, maybe don't. So that was a duck room story. Next up, we have 2 more story times that are kind of linked. The link between both of them is they're both about fans sneaking into the green room. So if you're not an artist or you have like no first-hand experience with touring, pretty much a green room will be a room backstage where you can put all your bags. The green room is your little safe space as an artist. It usually has a bathroom, and if it doesn't have a bathroom, it means that whenever you need to do a number 2, you have to do a number 2 surrounded by people that have paid money to see you. But the point is the green room is the safe space. Like, nobody can get there. Fans should never have access to that because that's your own little camp. We have specific passes. We have all access passes that we have to show when we go backstage to make sure that we're supposed to be there. There have been several occasions where fans have like slipped into the green room, but I just thought I'd speak on these 2 ones. Again, the first US tour that I ever did. Thank you, Americans, for your level of intensity. We're playing Detroit, which, you know, we show up to the venue maybe like 10 minutes early. There's no one at the venue. It's pitch black. And the venue itself is unlocked, so we just wander in, which I don't think that should not have been a thing. But that's just, you know, that's the first impression of this venue. To actually get to the green room, you have to go downstairs, downstairs again, downstairs again. It's in the basement. You need a lift to the basement, and it's around corridors. I get lost the entire time. I have no idea where I'm going. Again, I have heat stroke, not having the best time, but the show that we play in Detroit, it was good. And what happens after the show? Everybody else packs up their stuff. They all unpack the stage, they wrap up our stuff because they need to load the trailer so that we can get stuff from the trailer to the next venue, you see? But as the artist, that is not my job. I'm not allowed to carry things. I have offered several times, but they wouldn't let me. What I do after I played a show is I go and sit down in the green room. I have a couple snacks, I have a couple drinks. The artist that I was touring with for this tour is called Sophie Powers. She's lovely, and at this point she was like 17. She was a teeny tiny little baby. Kind of like Corey, she would do her meet and greets after the show, so she would go to the merch table and meet a bunch of people, and obviously she needs security around her because we don't know what kind of person is going to come into this venue and like want to speak to her, and especially because she's so young, she needs to be looked after. So she has the tour manager next to her, which we're not even going to go into that. When that's a story for that tour manager. That's a story for another day. We have the merch person who's selling merch with her, and we have the venue security with her. So she has 3 people around her. Now, how many people do I have in the green room, you ask? None. There was no security on the security door. And what happened is I was minding my business. I was exhausted. I was tired. I was hungry. I had just played a show. I'd done my post-show throw up because I was so sick. And then some man wanders in, and I'm like, oh, must be some guy that works with the venue. That's my first thought, because why else would there be somebody else in there? This man comes up to me and says, "Hey Noah, I loved the show. That was amazing. My kid loves you." And I was like, oh, okay, so you work at the venue then? You work at the venue then? He's like, no, I'm just here now. He's just there now. He manages to get the lift downstairs and find his way into the green room, which I couldn't do on my own, even though I'd been shown the way several times. And I don't know, I feel like, look, I'm trans, and I'm in America, and I don't know if people are gonna like that all the time. So that thought came into my head as soon as I saw a strange man. Obviously, he said his kid loves me, so I'm like, okay, cool, just a nice guy. But also, why are you in my space? If you have to sneak somewhere past where a security should be to see me, I don't feel that comfortable. But I'm polite, like, I'm always polite. I need to maybe be less polite sometimes. But he was like, yeah, my kid loves you. Do you mind if I get a picture and a video? And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm fine. Okay, I message, I think my tour manager, I'm like, or Corey, I'm like, there's somebody in the green room. There's a man that's coming here, but he's left, so it's fine. Obviously, you'd think, oh, maybe we should put security by the green room now. That didn't happen, because what happened is that he snuck down 10 minutes later. He managed to get out the green room, up the lift, into the venue, back into the lift, back into the green room with his child, who, by the way, was really sweet, and I don't want you to think that I don't like you or that your dad is a freak. Look, dude, you were really sweet, you were really nice, and I was happy to take a picture with you, but you were in my, you were in my bedroom. The green room, because you're on tour, you don't have, like, a room, you have a bunk, you don't have your own bedroom. I'm like, the green room is my space, this is my space, and there is a stranger in my space, and he's snuck in, and now he's snuck in again with his child. So that was weird and kind of terrifying, and yeah, that was that. And I guess, like, the last story is kind of a similar caliber. Setting the scene. It's this year. We're in Phoenix. It's a good day. I'm tired. Our green room is essentially like a music studio. It's insane. It looks really cool, real bougie. My family friends happened to be in Phoenix at the time, and they were like, look, I'm gonna go see Noah, because why would I not? I'm in Phoenix right now. I go back to the green room after the show, and I'm like, oh, family friend time, let's introduce them. So I bring them to the green room, but I see somebody that I've met several times before because they've been in every single VIP that I've done in the US. I see them follow these family friends very closely behind, and I think, this doesn't feel good. that doesn't feel right. I don't think you should be here. But the way that my brain works is that I'm just like, oh, well, maybe there's a reason. Maybe I'm just not understanding something. Maybe I'm wrong. And, you know, they're just there. They're just that kind of just like standing there in the green room. No hate to you, but why did you do that? And I'm obviously just not feeling this. I'm trying to be polite and I'm trying to make a good impression on the people that I am supposed to be meeting in the green room that are supposed to be there. And then the fan that snuck into the green room came up to me and said, hey, do you want to see my animals? And I thought, I don't know. Are you going to go into your pockets and hand me a bunch of eels? And this is just one of those times where I have a weird encounter like that, where someone sneaks into my safe space and shows me their eels. That didn't happen. They showed me like a collage of their 10 animals and then told me their names. Very cute animals, but very strange. Very strange, uncomfortable time because they knew they were not supposed to be in there. Because after they showed me their animals, they said, yes, sorry. I know I'm not supposed to be in here, I'll go now. And I think the reason that I felt the need to talk about this story is not only because, like, look, they shouldn't have been doing that. That was weird. They then went on Twitter afterwards and tagged me. They tagged me and they said, hey, Noah, tell your tour manager thank you for letting me in the green room. Now, can I say, tour manager is the tour dad or the tour mum, like the head, like the tour papa. Like, he is supposed to be on top of everything, which he is on top of everything. What he is most certainly not on top of is telling fans and strangers to come into the personal green room to interact with the artist. So I just think, like, if you're gonna sneak into the green room, number one, don't. I would also recommend not lying about it on Twitter and then tagging me in it, because, like, I get it. Like, you wanna be like, I was in Noahfinnce's green room. That means nothing. Let's be honest, no one cares about that. But don't tag me in a very obvious lie. I know for a fact that my tour manager was not letting you in the green room. I know that was not the case. So there's my little story times of really strange encounters that I've had. That's not all of them. Those are the ones that I want to speak about on camera. But let's be honest, it's not the end of the world. None of these people, they didn't punch me. If you've learned 3 things from this video. 1, don't sneak into Noahfinnce's green room. 2, don't sneak into Noahfinnce's green room and then lie about it as if you were supposed to be in there. And number 3, don't say Noahfinnce is sexy to his face and then threaten his boyfriend. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Have a good day, though. See you later, losers. Goodbye.